Hello everyone, my name is Sarah and this is the Little Dynamite Knits podcast. This is episode 2. If you watched the first one, first of all, thank you so much for coming back to watch this one. If you are new here, hello, hi, welcome. My name is Sarah. I live outside of Philadelphia with my husband Brent and our 3 cats, Gustav, Gracie, and Gertie. 2 of them are here with me in the office. I'm trying to take advantage of natural light for this episode, even though it is very dreary here today in southeastern Pennsylvania. So I have the curtains open in my office and the shade, and the cats are like, whoa, outside world. So this is episode 2. You are getting me fresh-faced on a Saturday morning, fresh from the acupuncturist, no makeup, rocking my hoodie, my favorite hoodie. I was at Wawa this morning on the way to the acupuncturist. If you're not from this area, if you don't know what Wawa is, it is a convenience store, the best one, like ever. But the person who was checking me out said, "Is that a corgi riding a T-Rex?" I said, "Sure is. Sure is." This hoodie makes friends wherever it goes. One of the best things my husband has ever bought me. So originally I was going to do episode 2 all about all of my FOs that I've done so far for the first half-ish of 2024, as well as all the yarns that have come in that I've purchased online through pre-orders and various. I am in one club right now, a monthly club. But 2 weekends ago, my friend Susan and I went down to Maryland for Yarncentrick and Maryland Sheep and Wool, and had the best weekend ever. So that's what I'm going to talk about this episode. I am also going to share a little sneak peek at some things I've been working on. Crochet. Wow, my brain just went like, what am I saying? I'm going to share a little bit of crochet that I have worked on recently. I'm really excited. That face was me realizing my completed crochet project is over on my desk. So at some point, I'm going to have to get up and go grab that. But Maryland. So Susan came and picked me up after work on Thursday 2 weeks ago. And she was a total champ and did all the driving, which was great because my back, I was really worried that it was going to be trouble because we were going to 2 events where there was going to be a lot of walking, standing around. And so I thought adding, a 2.5 hour drive down and back to that would have been just like a disaster. So thank you, Susan, for being a rock star and driving everywhere we went that weekend. So we went down on Thursday. We had an Airbnb in Frederick, which was perfect for Thursday night, and then for going to Yarncentrick on Friday. So we went down. We got checked into our Airbnb. We went and had dinner at this place called Frederick Social. Really cool place. Good food, but they're the thing that really kind of draws people in, I guess, is they have just like a wall of taps, and you pour your own. So most of them are beer, but they also have ciders and like pre-mixed cocktails and wine on tap, as well as kombucha. So, and you get a card and you pay by the ounce that you pour. So we had a lot of fun there. Went back to our Airbnb. The air conditioner was not working. And if you were in the Maryland area 2 weeks ago, you may remember we had like 1 or 2 surprise days of like pushing, I don't know if we were quite close to 90 degrees, but we were definitely in the 80s. It was warm. And so our Airbnb host came over and, never a good sign when your Airbnb host is Googling how to work the thermostat in the home that they're renting to you. so she couldn't get it to work. She did bring us fans. We were able to get to sleep. And then the temperatures did drop like pretty drastically after that. So it was fine, but it was a few uncomfortable hours. But we made it work. So Friday morning, woke up. We had the first time slot for Yarncentrick. We bought tickets for the 9 to 11 time slot. And I think we got there probably around 9:15. So we definitely wanted to make the most of our time and like have that full 2 hours. But it was a smaller event. We knew there were going to be less crowds because it was a timed and ticketed event. So there wasn't like a ton of pressure to like be there right when it opened. I didn't want to stand in line. Well, not even that I didn't want to. It just couldn't. It wouldn't feel good for my back. So we got there around 9:15. Susan dropped me off closer to the front, went and parked the car. And then we just walked in. We got our wristbands, showed our tickets, got our wristbands, and just walked in. And it was just chill. It was one of probably like now my favorite events that I've been to. And I haven't been to a ton. I've been to Youngfolk twice. I've been to Rhinebeck once, and I've been to Frederick Fiber Fest. But that's it. I'm still pretty new to the fiber festival scene. This one was delightful. The organizers of Yarncentrick, not that I think any of them are watching this, but they did a fantastic job. If you have a chance to go to Yarncentrick, do it. It was a great time. So the first vendor we went to was Tanny Casey, because I was on a mission to get a large project bag. As I'm going to start knitting garments this year. It's already May and I keep saying that, so I need to get started on that. That's another episode. But I need a big project bag for all the yarn that I'm going to need to knit these large garments. So I wanted to go because she has these beautiful large quilted bags, and right now it's holding a lot of it's actually holding everything that I bought at Yarncentrick. That's how big it is. So this is the bag that I got from Tanny Casey. Or I should say this is one of the bags that I got. And it's beautiful. It's huge. It's got so much room in it. And then it's got these two great pockets on the inside. So this is going to hold a lot of yarn and a big project. And it stands up really well on its own. It has a lot, whoops, I promise it does. It has a lot of good structure on the bottom. So, and it's gorgeous. Susan also got one. She got a green one. So I may have been a bad influence. I also got this. I think this is, I don't know if this is the large or the extra large zip bag that she makes. But again, it's got this nice bottom, like a wax canvas, I think. And so it has good structure. It'll sit open and has a nice, again, two pockets on the inside and a little wrist strap. So, and I love this fabric, was just calling my name. So, this was super exciting to find. Two really solid, well-made project bags. So I treated myself. I also thought these were very reasonably priced for the quality. So Tanny Casey, definitely check her out. Oh, I forgot about this. When we got to Yarncentrick, because we were in the first time slot, we also got a bag, and we could pick either like a beige or Susan and I both got this yellowish color. So we're gonna pause here for potential thumbnail. Again, I'm struggling with words today. So, all right. Right next to the Tanny Casey booth was Forever Yarn, which is a yarn store up in Doylestown, actually here in Pennsylvania. that I have been to before. They were part of the Philly Yarn Crawl. And they were there with Aimee of Les Garcons. So Susan and I definitely like got a little starstruck. And we met her, and she was just lovely. She was so nice. We had a lovely conversation with her, and she had samples there, including a Traveler shell, which is an Andrea Mowry pattern. And she had a sample there knit in Les Garcons in the Helix and Kumo. And it was a size 5. And she encouraged us to, well, I encouraged Susan to try it on because it was yellow. It was the Golden Brick Road, I think, colorway from Les Garcons, and like that's Susan's color. So I encouraged her to try it on, but then they both encouraged me to try it on, and it actually kind of fit, which was incredible, because I always think, you know, I'm going to have to make the largest size of every pattern that exists to fit my body. And so so Susan and I decided right there, we're making these. I may go up to a size 6. That would require an additional skein of Kumo. So the size 5 would work. The size 6 might be a little more comfortable and give me more of the look I would want. I haven't decided, but I have time because I have a few other garments that I want to make first, but I'm definitely going to make a Traveler shell. So after we said hello to Aimee and also Yan from Forever Yarn, we went over to, I think the next booth where I made a purchase was Ruby and Roses. And I actually have their card. And I learned about Ruby and Roses yarn through Rachel is Knitting. She is a partner or an ambassador for Ruby and Roses. And they had I actually have it over there. Hold on. They have, oh, sorry. This is like, okay. They had a Taylor Swift pre-order not long ago. And so I got the Lover sock set. The colors are just, look at those speckles. So this is their 8515 2-ply base, and it is like the plumpest, squishiest. I love a 2-ply yarn. This one is their, what base is this? Oh, it's called Plump Rose, and it's like the perfect name for it because it is just so at the Ruby and Roses booth, they had a sample of a pattern from Aimee's Neons and Neutrals book. And I don't know how to pronounce the name of the pattern. It begins with a K. I'm going to show it actually in a minute because I have the book here. But they had a sample of it. And instead of using 2 fingering weight and 2 lace weight, they used, held 2 fingering together for the main color and then held a fingering with a lace weight for the stripes, for the contrast color. So I got 3 skeins of yarn on their Soft Rose base, which is their 4-ply 85 15, so 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. This is the colorway Streetcar, and this is the colorway Nutmeg. And then I did not buy from them, but because I have it here at home. Oh gosh, can I reach it? I'm not prepared. Hold on. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna hold this Streetcar with this Surrey from Woolberry Fiber Co. in the colorway Falling Softly. I'm gonna hold those together for the stripes with this as the main colorway. very exciting. And now I'll actually show you the pattern that inspired that purchase. So went back to the Forever Yarn booth and to tell Aimee how excited. I keep calling her Aimee like we're best friends. But to show her that I purchased that yarn for the pattern. So this is the pattern. And so that is what I'm going to make with the yarn that I purchased. Let me find another picture. Here's one that shows. So I'm pretty sure that Yan at Forever Yarn sold me her personal copy of this book. But she said she had more back at the shop. And since I bought it there, I was able to get it signed. So that was awesome. I've been wanting to get some of these books. So first one to add to my collection. Okay. All right. Then we checked out Black Pearl Magic, and I definitely did not need any more bags, but they had these adorable little cubes that I think will be just a super fun little notions pouch. Maybe even I'll put it in my big sweater project bag. So this was just too cute to not get. Then we went over to Chelsea Yarns. If you've seen Chelsea Yarns at a festival or purchased for them, you know they have those hot pink bags. So I got one of those, super fun. And I got a skein of the Luxe Zebra base. It is 100% superwash merino, 437 yards. So this is fingering weight yarn, and the colorway, I think it says Adventure. I think that's what it says. But look at those colors. Oh my goodness, how good is that? So I should have gotten more. What should I make with this? What would you make with this? Oh my gosh, how cool is that? All right, one last purchase. Nope, two purchases, two more. I actually didn't do too bad. That's all the yarn I bought. I bought 4 skeins of yarn. That's it. Nope, 3 more purchases. Okay. There was a booth there called Bluebird Makery. I have never heard of this vendor before, but do you see what these are? Like, is that coming out clearly? Those are New Jersey stitch markers, and the heart is in South Jersey, where it belongs. She had every state. She had every state. And I thought about getting Pennsylvania, but Pennsylvania's like boring. It's like a rectangle. So, and how cute is New Jersey? Like, so I got my, representing my home state. So I got those. And then also went to Camp Stitchwood. Can never resist going to Camp Stitchwood. So I got some tags that say I made you a thing. Oh, I just became really aware of, oh, I'm sorry. For this lip, you guys, my lip has been split for like over a month, maybe 2 months, and it will not heal. Oh, there's my husband. I'm podcasting. I got you a cake pop. It's over on the shoe thing. I'm not a good editor. I can't stop it. I'll be upstairs in a little bit. We're just getting like real life over here today, folks. Okay, so I got some tags. Oh, some tags. And then I got 3 of her merit badges because I have a little collection now. So I got the Maryland sheep and wool. I got the Yarncentrick. And I got Seriously Circular. And what else is in this bag? Okay, now we're at the final purchase of the day. After we went through all the vendors, we were sitting outside, and there was a coffee truck and there was a grilled cheese truck. So I got a drink and Susan and I each got a sandwich. And so we were sitting out there enjoying, the tables were in the shade. And so we sat out there and had some lunch. And then before we left, we ran back inside to like the merch table and just got some of the special Yarncentrick stuff. Susan got a bag, and so we got these little stitch markers, and I don't know if that's going to show up or not, but 2 of them are just, they say Yarncentrick, and then this one says Yarncentrick but also has the La Bien Aimee logo. And I got a sticker as well, but it's on my water bottle. It was the perfect size to fill the last empty spot on my water bottle. So that was Yarncentrick. Again, wonderful event. Had such a good time. While we were sitting outside, we met someone named, her name is Lindsay, and she also lives in Pennsylvania. And so we talked to her and started following each other on Instagram. And I think we're going to try to meet up at Pearls of Wisdom, which is my local knitting store. So again, not that I think she's watching this, but Lindsay, if you are, hi. It was so cool to meet you. And yes, I am going to send you a message so that we can get together. So that was Yarncentrick. It was a good day. The rest of the day, Susan and I spent back in our Airbnb knitting and watching podcasts. And we got DoorDash for dinner. We watched the most recent Grocery Girls episode, and then I introduced her to some of my favorites, including Needles at the Ready and Skein Scoop podcast, and Wool and Wishes. So we just watched podcasts and knit for the rest of the day, and it was great. It was like the best day ever. All right, I made a mess. Let's shift gears here. Saturday, raining all day. So it was another rainy day at a yarn festival. If you were at Wool and Folk last year, you know what I'm referring to. This was nothing like that. It was spread out enough that, well, okay, so this was my first time at Maryland Sheep and Wool. So pretty similar to Rhinebeck. Lots of barns, lots of livestock, different demonstrations, classes, and things. We were only there, gosh, how long were we there? Maybe an hour and a half, if that. Definitely less than 2 hours. Didn't buy a ton. My back was giving me some serious problems on Saturday. It behaved mostly on Friday, and by Saturday it was just done. Oh, another thing we did on Friday before we went back to the Airbnb, we did make a stop at Magpie at the flagship store in downtown Frederick. But after a few minutes, I had to go sit in the car because of my back. So I told Susan, take as much time as you want, go shopping, have so much fun. But I needed to get off my feet at that point. So Maryland Sheep and Wool, I had a little list of vendors I did want to see. I wanted to go show Kat of Why Not Fibers, my finished basket weaver shawl because I knit that in her Slack DK base. And that was yarn that I purchased at Woolen Folk in 2022. She actually helped me pick out the color for that. And so I wanted to make sure I showed that project to her, and Susan bought some yarn from her as well. One of the other stops that I really wanted to go to was Polly Studios, their pottery. And I learned, yeah, here you go, Polly Studios. I learned about them from Kevin and Ray on the Needles at the Ready podcast. And so I had been on the website and seen some of their mugs, and there were two specifically that I wanted, both as a present for my husband, but also myself. So are you ready? Are you ready for how cute these are? Ah! Hubby and wifey. I couldn't resist. And they're enormous. Like, do you see how big this is? So now that I have shown these to the podcast, they can go upstairs and be washed. They are dishwasher safe. And we can start using them. I did show them to my husband already. He was super excited, but they've been sitting in the bag ever since. So now these can go upstairs and actually be used. And then the only other thing I bought at Maryland Sheep and Wool was this sweatshirt from Mitchell Wool Co. And it says, "For flock's sake." So it's super, super cozy, really long, like this, like really long, really, the sizing is a little weird on this, actually, if I'm being like 100% honest, which I am being 100% honest. This is a 3XL. The sleeves are really long, like they hang over my hands. The length of the sweatshirt, like it goes down over my butt. But chest, it is tight across my bust. So it's a little frustrating that it doesn't fit quite as I would expect. Now, I could have tried it on there in the booth. I didn't do that. That's totally on me. But usually, you know, a 3XL, I'm good. Like, that works. I think this is actually a 2X, so it depends, you know, it depends on the product. But it's not like I can wear this. It's just not quite as roomy as I was hoping for, like that oversized sweatshirt. It is in length, just not in width, but it is super soft, and I just love it. So I got that, and then that was that. On the way out of Maryland Sheep and Wool, I bought a cinnamon roll from one of the food vendors. Okay, if you have ever been to Maryland Sheep and Wool, or if you just know the vendor I'm talking about, I think the truck was kind of pink, and they sell cinnamon rolls, and I think they have coffee and lemonade. I just got a cinnamon roll. I nursed that cinnamon roll for the entire 2.5 hour drive home. Just ate like a little bit at a time of it. I didn't even have a fork. I ate it with my fingers in the car. It was the best cinnamon roll I have ever had. If you know who that vendor is, can I order those online? Can I have them shipped? Or can I at least find out where this truck is going to be so I can like make another trip? I mean, it was that good. It was so good. Okay. I really, I had been craving a cinnamon roll for like 2 weeks at that point. I told Susan, I was like, oh my gosh, like I have wanted a cinnamon roll for the past like 2 weeks. I'm getting one. And then it was like the best one I've ever had. So, okay. I do actually have related purchases that I'm going to share as well. When we were at Sheep and Wool, my friend Alicia, who actually used to work with and taught with, and actually taught her daughter for a few years, she is a knitter as well. And so she was at Maryland Sheep and Wool with her mom. Alicia, if you're watching this, hello. I always love seeing her at these events. I get super excited. So I'm really glad we were able to meet up. But she had with her, not from Maryland Sheep and Wool, but from New York Sheep and Wool, she had one of the bags they were selling. And amazingly enough, they were still available online. So I think I maybe even ordered this from the car on the ride home from Maryland. But it's the 2023 New York Sheep and Wool bag. It's got 2 pockets on the back. I think Alicia had one of her, had her water bottle in one, which is perfect. And then it's got this giant pocket, this blue giant pocket on the inside. But I bought this specifically to use how she was using it, as a market bag. She had all, oh gosh, I gotta go back, it's so big. She had all of her purchases in this bag, and I just thought that was brilliant. So this is now my Fiber Festival shopping bag. And then another kind of related purchase, one of the vendors at Yarncentrick had cord smiths, and I almost bought one there because I've been wanting one, but I didn't get it. And then I saw on Instagram that Maggie of Yarnaceous Fibers, one of my favorite yarn dyers, she is now selling cord smiths with, look at that. She has them in 3 colors. She has this gold color, she has a green, and a purple. Is that just the best thing ever? So I got that from Maggie. And I also got, she had these stickers, I believe with Cerulean Orchid is the vendor, but it's a Triceratops with wool. So it's what did they call it? Triceraba? I don't know. But it's cute. Is that, had to have that. So that's it officially for purchases at Yarncentrick, Maryland Sheep and Wool, and adjacent. And I now have a mess all over my floor to clean up. And I can now put these things away because I've shared them with the podcast. All right, before I go, I mentioned earlier that I've been crocheting. This is a big deal. I tried to crochet, probably 20 years ago. And since then I have sworn, nope, need 2 needles. Can't do 1 hook. Just not for me. My hands don't work that way. Well, not anymore. I made a wool ball. This is, I think his name's Fred. Yes, Fred the dinosaur. And it actually, I think, looks like it's supposed to. I do think, I don't love the holiness, the holes, you can see the stuffing through them. So, and I'm sure part of that is my tensioning, but I also just think part of it, well, no, it's me, because if you look up here, it doesn't happen. So yeah, I think that's on me. But it was the first thing I ever made, so that's okay. Fred sits on my desk and makes me very happy. And my husband also has a Wobbles kit. He's making a monkey. So he's got that in progress. I will say, being a knitter definitely made it easier, I think, for me to make this, to pick up on how to manage the yarn, the different motions, turning the hook different ways, how to read the work to see where I was going next. I do think if you've never done anything like this, if you've never crocheted, if you've never knit or anything, I do think this is going to be a bit more challenging. Still beginner friendly because of the videos, but I'm watching my husband do it and I'm realizing, wow, just all of my knitting, I definitely had a leg up on this. I actually did this in an afternoon, in one day. And I found the videos very helpful, but a little too slow for me. And also I was a little frustrated that they were so short. There were so many of them because I was constantly having to like hold the project in one hand and press the next button to go to the next video. So, but for someone who's never done anything like this before, I think it's beginner friendly enough that, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes with his monkey. So that then inspired me to try some other things. So I learned how to make, I started with a more traditional granny square with all the like openings, and then made more of a, I think they're called closed granny squares or solid granny squares. And the reason I did this specifically is the pattern for the Battenberg blanket, and I forget the designer of that pattern. It is a free pattern, and I'll put it in the description, but she has a pattern that makes, now hers are smaller. She does, I think 3 rounds. This one has 4, and this one has 5, and I actually like this size, and I think I want to make this pattern with all of my tweed yarn from Explorer Knits. I have 2 of the mini tweed sets from her Ireland collection and 1 of the mini tweed sets from the Spain collection. And then I have several skeins of the colorway Woolly, Woolly, W-O-O-L-Y, also on her tweed sock base to use as a main color. And originally I thought I had a different pattern in mind, a knit pattern, but now I think I might want to make this Battenberg blanket. This was really fun to do. And I really love the idea of like all these little squares of color. Who's making this right now? Justine of the Skein Scoop podcast. She also has her own channel on YouTube, Never Not Knitting Rhode Island. She's actually doing this right now. And Knitty Natty also has made one of these, and they both are making their squares bigger. I think Knitty Natty did 4 rounds for hers. Justine is doing 5, and I like that. That's what this is. I like this size. And I think she said she was able to get 5 squares out of each mini skein. So this is all I know how to do, by the way, for crochet. Like, this is like, I can make this. I can't do anything else. Like, if you put a crochet pattern in front of me, I would be like, But this is all you need to do for the blanket until you have to join everything. And I'll get to that when I get to that. But I think this is, I'm like 90% sure that this is where the direction I'm going to go in for my Ireland, Spain blanket. So, all right. I have projects to share and yarn to talk about, but we are approaching the 40-minute mark. And so we're going to call episode 2 done, and we'll save the rest of that for episode 3. So again, if you enjoyed, first of all, if you came back and watched this, thank you. If you've already subscribed, like there's like 7 of you and you're all my friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're new and you watch this whole video, thank you. Please share some love if you have a few minutes. If you did enjoy it, do the thumbs up, leave a comment. I would love to hear about, where you're watching, or if anything in this maybe was inspiring for you, or if you have suggestions for me. And please subscribe. I hear that helps get videos more views, helps with the whole algorithm or whatever. All right. We are going to head out in a couple hours for a friend's 40th birthday party. We're going to have tacos, and I'm going to have the triplets try on their socks that I've been making for them. So hopefully next episode, I will have 3 pairs of 7-year-old socks to show you all. All right. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.